We aren't even a third of the way into the off-season yet, but Mercedes are already in the headlines for the wrong reasons. Their team boss Toto Wolff and his wife Susie, who is an F1 managing director in her own right, see themselves embroiled in an investigation spearheaded by the FIA. So, what are they being accused of? Who sounded the alarm on the two? Stick around, I'll make sure these questions are answered before the video ends. In response to grievances raised by Formula One team principals concerning the conduct of Toto Wolff, the team principal of Mercedes, and Susie Wolff, the managing director of the F1 Academy under the administration of F1's commercial rights holders, the FIA has taken significant steps to address the situation. The decision to intervene stems from apprehensions that the couple may have access to information beyond the scope of regular channels, thereby creating a conflict of interest. This noteworthy development underscores the importance of maintaining transparency and equity within the intricate dynamics of Formula One. So, here's the scoop. There's some buzz in the Formula One world about Toto Wolff and Susie Wolff having a bit too much insider knowledge. Word on the street is that Toto is in the know about FOM's, Formula One Management's, hush-hush activities, info that other team bosses aren't privy to. Meanwhile, Susie seems to be in the loop on what's cooking in the discussions among team principals, and apparently that kind of intel could be quite handy for FOM. Now the plot thickens because folks are getting a bit jittery that these supposedly confidential team principal chats might be making their way to the big shots at F1's senior management. Business F1 magazine even dropped a bomb, suggesting that something Toto spilled in a recent team principal powwow, info that could only have come from FOM, set off a chain reaction of complaints from other bigwigs. It's interesting that no rival teams are airing their grievances in public, but behind the scenes, whispers are making their way to Mohammed bin Sulayem, the big boss at the FIA. Seems like there's a growing concern about a potential conflict of interest brewing in the F1 realm. Following the brewing controversy, Mohammed bin Sulayem, the head honcho at the FIA, isn't taking things lightly. He's thrown the investigative hat on and asked the FIA compliance department to dig into the matter. In a statement dropped on Tuesday, the FIA played it cool and didn't spill any names. The FIA is aware of media speculation centered on the allegation of information of a confidential nature being passed to an F1 team principal from a member of FOM personnel. The FIA Compliance Department is looking into the matter. Since this statement from the FIA, Susie Wolff has taken to her personal Instagram to address this issue, where she would say, "It is disheartening that my integrity is being called into question in such a manner, especially when it seems to be rooted in intimidatory and misogynistic behaviour and focused on my marital status rather than my abilities. Throughout my career in motorsport, I have encountered and overcome numerous obstacles, and I refuse to let these baseless allegations overshadow my dedication and passion for F1 Academy. As a woman in this sport, I have faced my fair share of challenges, but my commitment to breaking down barriers and paving the way for future generations to succeed remains unwavering. In the strongest possible terms, I reject these allegations." Mercedes would also release their own statement regarding the matter and say, "We note the generic statement from the FIA this evening, which responds to unsubstantiated allegations from a single media outlet and the off-record briefing which has linked it to the team principal of Mercedes-AMG F1. The team has received no communication from the FIA Compliance Department on this topic, and it was highly surprising to learn of the investigation through a media statement. We wholly reject the allegation in the statement and associated media coverage, which wrongly impinges on the integrity and compliance of our team principal. As a matter of course, we invite full, prompt and transparent correspondence from the FIA Compliance Department regarding this investigation and its contents." FOM, not one to mince words, has come out swinging in response to all the drama. They're standing their ground and making it crystal clear that, according to them, there's absolutely no conflict of interest here. They're dismissing the allegations as baseless, throwing a punch back at the swirling rumours. We note the public statement made by the FIA this evening that was not shared with us in advance. We have complete confidence that the allegations are wrong, and we have robust processes and procedures that ensure the segregation of information and responsibilities in the event of any potential conflict of interest. We are confident that no member of our team has made any unauthorized disclosure to a team principal and would caution anyone against making imprudent and serious allegations without substance. Since this back and forth between the FIA and the parties supposedly guilty of these allegations, the credibility of Business F1 magazine has since been questioned. According to the magazine, the investigation was launched under the pressure of various team principals who thought Toto and Susie's marital relationship would be a cause for the leakage of any confidential information. But, according to Red Bull team boss Christian Horner, his team did not raise any official complaints to the FIA. "We have a big rivalry with Mercedes on track, but we haven't raised any official complaint, either about Susie or Toto or Mercedes to the FIA," Horner said on Sky Sports News. In fact, Red Bull has been the team which has got most involved with Formula One Academy from its inception, to the point that between the two Red Bull-owned teams, we will be entering 3 cars. We have been working closely with Susie, who has been doing a great job on Formula One Academy. I think we, like others, were quite surprised at the statement that came out last night, but it certainly wasn't instigated or required or set off by Red Bull. When pressed again regarding the involvement of other teams, such as AlphaTauri, Horner would respond with, "We have not raised any official complaint or made any requests to the FIA or to FOM, Formula One Management. Indeed, we have been working very closely with Susie on the Formula One Academy. We are the only group that is going to be entering 3 cars in the Academy for 2024. It is great work that they're doing with the Academy, and we are certainly excited about that. As far as the other teams, I can't talk on behalf of others. This is an FIA thing. They have taken this action, and, as I say, it is certainly nothing to do with Red Bull." Later on Wednesday, other F1 teams also went on record to distance themselves from the reported allegations. A statement from Ferrari read, "We can confirm that we have not made any complaint to the FIA regarding the allegation of information of a confidential nature being passed between an F1 team principal and a member of FOM staff. We are pleased and proud to support F1 Academy and its managing director through our commitment to sponsor an entrant in our liveries from next season." In a unified front, McLaren, Williams and Haas took to social media with identical statements, firmly rejecting any insinuations of their team's involvement. They wanted to set the record straight and make it clear that they were not part of the alleged actions. Similarly, Mercedes joined the chorus, releasing a statement that unequivocally stated they wholly rejected the allegations made against them. It seems like a social media showdown of statements as these teams stand together against the swirling suggestions. To add on to Toto Wolff's headaches, the team is tasked with making the biggest comeback in order to mount a proper challenge to Max Verstappen and Red Bull's dominance. Red Bull emerged triumphant in the Constructors' Championship this year, showcasing dominance with victories in all but one of the 22 races of the season. Max Verstappen, the driving force behind this success, etched his name in the record books with an unprecedented 19 wins in a single year, securing the coveted driver's crown. Verstappen's stellar performance extends his reign as the victor for the 3rd consecutive driver's title, each time widening the gap over his closest competitor. Notably, Red Bull has successfully dethroned Mercedes as the leading force in Formula One, seizing the spotlight since the implementation of new technical regulations in 2022. The tides have turned, and Red Bull now stands as the dominant force in the ever-evolving landscape of Formula One. Red Bull has started these regulations in 2022 with a massive advantage and have been able to retain it, Wolff said. "We need to have a lot of respect for their achievement in the engineering side and the driver, and beating them under the current regulations is against the odds, that's clear." Mercedes clinched the 2nd spot in the Constructors' Championship at the recent Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, but the points tally tells an intriguing story. 409 points for Mercedes compared to Red Bull's commanding 860 for the year. Despite the conclusion of this season, both teams have long shifted their focus to the future. Red Bull strategically diverted attention from the already dominant RB19, channeling efforts into the development of the anticipated RB20 for the upcoming season. In contrast, Mercedes has taken a bold approach, making substantial changes to its car concept. The hope is to unlock a substantial performance gain during the winter, signalling Mercedes' commitment to staying competitive and possibly reclaiming the top spot in the seasons to come. The chess game of Formula One development continues into the next chapter. We have seen with McLaren an update, unlocking a second of lap time, and with AlphaTauri coming strong at the end and Aston Martin over the winter, there is a key to unlock dramatically more performance, Wolff said. I think us making this honest assessment that this car is never going to be good enough to fight for the championship, and we have taken the decision in spring that we've got to go back to the drawing board and come up with something new next year. But Mount Everest is in front of us. Asked if he was optimistic about 2024 based on the progress he'd seen at Mercedes factory, Wolff added, "I have never felt optimistic about anything in my life." That makes it sound miserable, but it has protected me about managing my expectations and pushing harder, because I think it is never good enough. That's why I sit here with a bittersweet feeling that we have won P2 today but lost P1. So we are changing the concept. We are completely moving away from how we laid out the chassis, the weight distribution, the airflow. I mean, literally, there is almost every component that has been changed, because only by doing that do we have a chance. We could get it wrong also, so between not gaining what we expect to catching up, making a big step and competing at the front, everything is possible. If you asked me today, there is always skepticism, but that is the mentality in the team that pushes us forward to never give up. So do you think the Wolffs are innocent of these allegations? Will Mercedes catch up to Red Bull next season? Let me know in the comments section below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't.